Hare Shishima Abhay Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Their divine lordship Shri Nitai Mai Pachanda Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Jai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to those fit to Shiva and Shigaranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktivinoda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktivinoda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktivinoda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktivinoda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktivinoda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktivinoda.
So we read this morning from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila chapter 9, which is entitled Chaitanya's Travels to the Holy Places. And we are beginning from 250. Tatvavadi Gana Prabhuke Mayavadi Jane.
Tatvavadi Gana Prabhuke Mayavadi Jane.
Pratama Darshani Prabhuke Nakaiva Sambhashane. Let me try that again. Pratama Darshani Prabhuke Nakaiva Sambhashane.
Pratama Darshane Prabhuke Nakaiva Sambhashane.
Yeah, you have to couple the na to the first bit. Pratama Darshani Prabhuke Nakaiva Sambhashane.
Pratama Darshane Prabhuke Nakaiva Sambhashane.
Very good, very good. Bhavani Ganesam Prabhuke Maya Vadi Gane.
Tatvavadi Gana Prabhuke Mayavadi Jane.
Pratama Darshani Prabhuke Nakaiva Sambhashane.
Pratama Darshane Prabhuke Nakaiva Sambhashane.
Tatvavadi Gana Prabhuke Maya Vadi Gane.
Tatvavadi Gana Prabhuke Mayavadi Jane.
Pratama Darshani Prabhuke Nakaiva Sambhashane.
Pratama Darshane Prabhuke Nakaiva Sambhashane.
Tatvavadi Gana Prabhuke Maya Vadi Gane. Pratama Darshani Prabhuke Nakaiva Sambhashane.
Tatvavadi Gana Prabhuke Mayavadi Jane.
Tatvavadi Gana Prabhuke Maya Vadi Gane.
Pratama Darshane Prabhuke Nakaiva Sambhashane.
Pratama Darshani Prabhuke Nakaiva Sambhashane. Ladies.
Tatvavadi Gana Prabhuke Mayavadi Jane.
Tatvavadi
Gana Prabhuke Mayavadi Jane. Pratama Darshane Prabhuke Nakaiva Prathamadarshane Prabhu Kena Kaila Sambhashane Tatvavadi Gana Prabhu Ke Mayavadi Gyane Tatvavadi Prabhu Ke Mayavadi Gyane Prathamadarshane Prabhu Kena Kaila Sambhashane Prathamadarshane Prabhu Kena Kaila Sambhashane
Tatvavadi
Tatvavadi
We'll try that again. Tatvavadi Gana. The Tattvavadis. Prabhu Ke. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mayavadi Gyane. Considering as a Mayavadi sannyasi. Prathamadarshane. In the first meeting. Prabhu Ke. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. No. Did not. Koina. Do. Sambhashane. Addressing. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. At first sight, Tattvavadi Vaishnavas considered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Mayavadi sannyasi. Therefore, they did not talk to him. Please repeat, at first sight, Tattvavadi Vaishnavas considered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a Mayavadi sannyasi. Therefore, they did not talk to him. This is purport. Om Jnana-Timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshunanmalitam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapatantikam Vanchakapatarabhischa Kripa Sindhavaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda SriAdvaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yeah, so Mahaprabhu met the Tattvavadis. After traveling in South India, different places were attained by Mahaprabhu. So this is the meeting of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Udupi, where there's a very famous deity, a very beautiful deity and a very heavy deity of Krishna. So just to couple it to the previous discussion, I'm just going to read a few verses back. While at the Udupi monastery, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw dancing Gopal, a most beautiful deity. This deity appeared to Madhvacharya in a dream. Yeah, Prabhupada tells the story in the previous purport. One boat was approaching the coast and was in danger of running aground. So Madhvacharya gave some signs like that, and in this way the boat didn't run aground. And therefore the boatkeeper was very happy with Madhvacharya. So he offered him a lump of chandan. You can understand, to put a deity inside a lump of chandan, it must have been quite something, big chunk of Gopi Chandan. So inside the Gopi Chandan was the deity, but previously the deity had appeared to Madhvacharya in a dream and told him what was going to happen. Madhvacharya had somehow or other acquired the deity of Krishna from a heap of Gopi Chandan that had been transported in a boat. Yeah, so Krishna's Karyaj Goswami just summarizes the story here. Madhvacharya brought this dancing Gopal deity to Udupi and installed him in the temple. Today, the followers of Madhvacharya, known as Tattvavadis, worship this deity. So Tattvavadis, they are I'm trying to remember now what that is. Yeah, it's like common sense, the philosophy of common sense, philosophy of reality. You could put it like that. That's what the Tattvavadi is. So it's a philosophy of Madhvacharya, which is dualism especially. And maybe it's just worth recapping that a bit. The philosophy of Madhvacharya, especially the dualism. Yeah, it's the arguments from a realist viewpoint. You know, it's kind of like common sense viewpoint, you could say like that. So dualism, Dvaita, the ultimate reality is split into two distinct categories: the independent God, Brahman and Vishnu, and the dependent souls, or matter. So these are the two divisions. Then Vishnu is Supreme Lord Vishnu is the singular all-powerful Supreme Being, the creator, preserver and destroyer, and the ultimate object of worship. Realism. The material world and the individual souls are eternally real, but not illusory, contrary to Advaita Vedanta. And there are fivefold distinctions. There are five fundamental internal differences between God and the soul, between God and matter, among souls, between souls and matter, and among different types of matter. So this is called the fivefold distinction of the Panchabheda. That's because there's sameness and there's difference. So Bheda means difference. So Abheda means same. Yeah. So this is why you see that our philosophy of Achintya Bheda Veda Tattva, we also have this Bheda, this difference. You know? Our philosophy goes a little further though. Our philosophy is that everything is simultaneously one with the different from the Supreme. Everything in the cosmic creation, the cosmic manifestation, you could say. Key concepts. The soul, each soul is an eternal individual entity, distinct from God, though depends on Him. Moksha, liberation. The goal is to escape samsara and the cycle of rebirth and obtain eternal happiness in the presence of God, experiencing His glory. So that is not really our philosophy so much. Because when we experience His glory, what do you call that? Yeah, Aishvarya, yeah. So as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we're not so much interested in that. We're actually interested in this cowherd boy, but nobody knows this God. Yeah, we are not so much interested in that. Because the problem with experiencing the Lord's Aishvarya, the glory and opulence, is it tends to make you like this. It makes you like this. So if you like this, you can't really be friend, parent, conjugal. Yeah. So you see that our philosophy is built on top of Madhva's Tattvavad. Okay. Pramanas. Pramanas means? Pramana?
Obeisances.
Huh?
Obeisances.
No, that's pramana.
Oh, pramana is the proofs.
Yeah, no, it means proof. Yeah, proof. How do we know that something's real? So these are the pramanas. Valid means of knowledge, which include perception, inference, and Vedic scriptures. So 3 are accepted. There are 10 actually, but 3 are accepted by Madhvacharya. So what are they? I've given the English. Do you know? Don't know? Perception? Should know these things. Perception means, what are you perceiving? If there's perception, there must be perceiving. So what are you perceiving with?
Eyes.
The senses, yeah. So this is called pratyaksha. Aksha means?
Eyes.
And pra means?
In
front of. So if your eyes are open and something's in front of your eyes, can you see it? If your eyes are open. Yeah, so this is called pratyaksha, direct sense perception. There's some truth in it, right? I'm waving my hand in front of my eyes. There's some truth in it. But what's the flaw?
Things you can't see.
Yeah, the senses are limited and imperfect. So therefore you may not. In fact, the senses can be all fooled very, very easily. Okay, then there is, let's see, inference. What's inference?
When
you do that with the? No, not, well, the brain is just a hunk of matter, but
mind.
you do it with the mind. That's called Anumana. See, great souls appear. Anu means, this is me doing my charades. Follow. To follow. So Anumana means follow the mind. But the trouble with the mind, actually, what is the problem? Let's see if you awake you are on a Sunday morning. What's the problem with Anumana?
Accept and reject.
Huh?
You accept and you reject.
Yeah, that's true. That's not really the problem. The problem is your hypotheses. What you base your mental speculation on. If your hypotheses are incorrect, what's going to happen to all your mental speculation? It's all going to be wrong. Because your initial starting point was wrong. So the hypothesis or the assumptions that because when we engage in anumana, when we engage in philosophical speculation, there must be no, there must be assumptions. You're trying to figure out if it's the truth. There must be assumptions. So if your assumptions are wrong, then everything that follows is also wrong. Right? So this is the flaw with anumana. And then there is Vedic scriptures. What's that called? Shabda pramana. Shabda actually means sound. Sound. But if you want to define Shabda, it means hearing from qualified authorities. What's the example that Srila Prabhupada gives? A very famous example. If you read Srila Prabhupada, you must know this. Shabda pramana. Qualified authority.
Mother.
Huh?
The mother.
Yes. In terms of?
The child.
The child. Who is the child's mother or father? Sorry. The mother is a qualified authority. You can get your DNA testing kit out, or you can just hear from your mother.
But also, who are you going to test?
Huh?
Like, if you want to test, but who are you going to test?
Yeah, everybody. You have to
so
test
many
everybody.
living entities, yeah.
Yeah, you have to test everybody. But you just hear from your mother. It's so easy, you know? So Shabda pramana. Shabda pramana is flawless. Provided, because this is Kali Yuga, everybody thinks they're Shabda pramana. No, I know. I've been in this movement 3 months, and I know. I've been in this movement 3 years, and I know. I've been in this movement 35 years, and I know. This is the problem, yeah. But you've got to hear from a qualified authority. So the Veda is qualified authority. Veda means knowledge. Yeah, knowledge. So the sages have no reason to lie to us. Why would they do that? They have no reason to lie. Yeah. So the pramanas, these pramanas are accepted: sense perception, mental speculation, and Shabda pramana. So there's some contrast with Advaita. While Advaita teaches that the soul is identical to Brahman, non-dualism, Dvaita insists that they are eternally distinct. This is why you see pictures of Madhvacharya like this. Everything about him is two. Now there's the eternal supreme, and there's the individual supremes. Well, the individual in living entities, and they're always separate. Can you quote a verse in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna emphasizes this point? And living entities are eternally separate individuals. Yeah, this is good. Vatvayvaham jatuna sam Tannime janadipaha Vachaivana bhavishyama sarvivana tapanam. This is second chapter. To verse 12, where Krishna is saying, I'm an individual, you're an individual, and all these kings. And in the future will continue to be individuals. But this is also good. Yes, so I don't know if I shared this with, he put it on the thing.
No,
we should know what our philosophy is. We should be able to summarize, and we should know what the other philosophers are saying. Yeah.
So you say we must know the other philosophers. Should we also know then Christianity and Muslim?
Yeah, we should know what their philosophy is. Okay. We should know. Because the thing is, if you don't know, how can you differentiate our philosophy from theirs? Yeah.
And then, like with the Bible, there's so many versions, and the same with the Quran. So how, like, if we want to know
the Quran, not so much. The Quran has been established. Actually, there are a few others, but mostly the Quran has been established and not changed. But of course, the Bible, there's a problem with that. Even the Apocrypha is missing from the Christian, the modern Christian Bible. The Apocrypha is 12 books in the Old Testament, which the Catholic Church accepts, but the Anglican and others don't accept. And then even then, it's been seriously messed with, actually seriously. So it's very difficult, but at least for Vaishnavas, they can tease the essential truth out of the Bible. You can tease. I mean, the Bible is also a revealed scripture. And if you want the proof of that, Krishna is described in the Bible, in the Song of Solomon.
Really?
Yeah, and he said his hair is black like the raven.
Wow.
And it's also said that his countenance is like ivory overlaid with sapphire. What colour sapphire? Blue. His countenance is like that of ivory overlaid with sapphires. And his eyes are like the eyes of doves.
Wow.
Have you seen a dove's eyes? It's very soft. Actually, that bird has got very soft eyes. And like I said, he's chiefest among 10,000. This is Solomon trying. He had a darshan of Krishna, actually, it's clear from the description. And he's trying his best to give you something in writing. Chiefest among 10,000. Of course, Krishna is chiefest among 10 million. But anyway, he said also that he is majestic like Lebanon. Of course, we think Lebanon now is a country. But if you go there, there's a mountain, a very tall mountain called Lebanon. So, and he was saying as well that he is something, I forget the analogy, something like the cedars. Have you seen cedar trees? Very majestic and tall, actually. Very, very beautiful tree, the cedar tree. So he was using it like the eyes of doves. What was it? Something set on a bed of myrrh. I forget all the verses now, but there's 7 verses there where Krishna is described, very similar to our description of the Lord. So it's revealed scripture. And also, the Quran, although it's barely revealed scripture, but at least they accept there is a supreme. That's the one point. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says about the Tattva philosophy. But we should try to understand the philosophy of everybody so that we can point out the flaws and introduce people to the perfect philosophy. So that's an important point. We are supposed to be Brahmins, we should know these things a little bit. Because if you're going to meet people and preach, you're going to have to know these things so that you can point out, yes, it's all right. And of course, when we deal with others, we shouldn't be known. Yes, but is better. Yes, that's true, it's revealed scripture, but. And then point. So tell people now what happens.
Shut down.
Switch off. They don't want to hear anything you said. So it's better to go yes, but. Because it is partial representation of the truth. Even Islam, even Buddhism is a partial representation of the truth. No? But we, and even these other Vaishnava philosophies, they're also partial representations of the truth. Even Dvaitism, even the philosophy of Madhvacharya, and we're going to see now how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeats it and establishes. Because Mahaprabhu has come for what purpose? Of course, there are many answers to this, but anyway, let's see if you're awake. Mahaprabhu has come for what purpose?
To be in the mood of Radhe.
Yeah, that's confidential. But otherwise, for what purpose? It said that the time for, he was experiencing that there were unfulfilled desires from Vrindavan Leela, but it was also the time for
the Yuga Dharma.
Yes, the Yuga Dharma to be distributed. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared for distribution of the Yuga Dharma, and also to teach the super excellence of Ragatmika Bhakti. Raga can mean spontaneous. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not really interested in rules and regulations philosophy. Mahaprabhu is teaching spontaneous attraction, what we call Raga Nuga. It's interesting that Adam comes in there as well, no? Raga means? Attachment. Raga Nuga. To follow those who have attachment. That's how it works. We follow the residents of Vrindavan. Otherwise you can't get access. We follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is
Krishna.
Combined, no.
Radha Krishna.
Combined form of Radha and Krishna. So if you're in front of the combined form of Radha, or in front of Radha and Krishna, where are you?
Vrindavan.
Vrindavan, yeah. So that's how it works. We worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of awe and reverence and execute his instructions, and by doing so we get entrance into Vrindavan. So this is the confidential part. Mahaprabhu appeared for 3 reasons confidentially. So, Your Grace,
For the mood of Radha.
to understand the love of Srimati Radharani. Number 2,
To re-establish what? Yuga Dharma?
to see the qualities in Krishna which make him so attractive. And the third one, I should learn these actually. We should learn these. Yeah, the third one is to experience the unique bliss that she enjoys as a result of her service. Because Mahaprabhu felt that I'm supreme. I'm Krishna and she's enjoying more than I am. What is that? Because when you are the subject, you cannot understand the position of the object. It's hard to understand. You may have a friend in the front tells you, I just love you so much. And you think, why does that person love me so much? What is it about me? Sometimes partners or dear friends may, if you've got a sarit. Anybody got a sarit? Who is that? That's Lord Krishna. He's the dear friend of every living entity. Yeah, so if you've got a friend, you may want to know what is it that you like so much about me? You may not understand that. Because when you're the object of that, when you're the subject of that, you can't understand the position of the object. No? So Krishna was thinking, I've got to understand that. So therefore he took up the mood of Radharani.
Can you please say them again?
Huh?
Can you say them again?
Yeah, the 3 reasons. First of all, understand the unique love of Srimati Radharani.
Love?
The love.
Unique.
Yeah, what is that love that she has for me? And to understand the qualities in him that makes her love him so much. And to understand the unique bliss that she experiences as a result of her service. So the only way to do that is how?
Hare Krishna.
You have to become Radha. That's the only way you can do that. So that's what happened. He is Radha. Krishnadas Kaviraj Swami says they separated themselves eternally. Because they're one. Actually, Radha and Krishna are 2 persons in one body. Or you could say one body in one person in 2 bodies. You can put it like that. No?
You were speaking about Upper Radha bits in the last
Yeah,
class.
Upper Radha against Radha.
I was wondering if you can just give us some practical suggestions on what to do when we're hearing blaspheme of
Run
the
away.
devotees. It's not
Actually,
always possible.
technically,
that's the thing,
the
yeah.
first thing is you try and defeat that person.
Okay.
Try,
glorifying the person.
Yeah,
that
you
they're-
mentioned some qualities. Say, no, that person, Because our mood is a bit like a teacher, When we're teachers, you know what we do about the bad qualities of students? We ignore it. He knows because he's a teacher. We ignore it. Why do we ignore it? Now, this is the difference in mode of goodness and mode of passion teacher. And what a mode of passion teacher does, the kid acts up. Johnny, stop messing about. Stop it. What does it do? Yeah, it reinforces the bad behavior. So a teacher should actually spend their time reinforcing the good behavior. Okay, boys and girls, I want you to take out your maths books. And the first 3 that do it, you glorify them. Oh, I really like the way that Johnny took out his maths book. What will all the others do? Exactly. This is how you deal with students under the age of 12. When they get to teenager, you have to be more subtle. They still want your approval, but they don't want everybody else to see it. Right? Yeah. So we have to be very expert about that. Yeah, the teachers know these things, or should know these things. Mode of ignorance teacher, what's he like, or she like? You nonsense bloody rascal, I told you not to do that. They get the result, but they damage the child in the process. So then we shouldn't be mode of ignorance preachers. You Christians just full of bloody nonsense, but not like that. No? Yeah, your philosophy is so wonderful. But I just want to ask you a few questions. What about this and that and the other? Yeah. So the Tattva-vadi, the arguments based on a realistic viewpoint, common sense. It's common sense that the living entities and the Supreme Lord are eternally different. It's common sense. So Madhvacharya brought this dancing deity, Gopal deity, to Udupi and installed him in the temple. To date, the followers of Madhvacharya, known as Tattva-vadis, worship this deity. So that's how long? How long they're worshipping that deity? Or we can make an estimate. The time that he brought the deity is not given. But he travelled all over India for about 11 years, I think. So it's probably at least 1238, 1249. So at least 1249. Like that, no? So from then to now, we say 1250 just for, because it's a round number.
800 almost.
Yeah, 800 years. 800 years they've been doing that worship. And the way that his devotees run that temple is amazing. They get thousands of pilgrims every day. Yeah, we could learn a few things from that. One time, the GBC in England is Srila Swami. So one time he said, we were trying to organise Parikram in England. So we started somewhere in Scotland. I think it was Edinburgh, Glasgow, or something like that. So we're supposed to start at 6 o'clock. The bullocks and the cart were supposed to come and the deities and everything. So by severing, the press were getting agitated. So Srila Swami's pacifying them, trying. You know what time the bullock cart and the deities actually came? 9 o'clock. And Srila Swami's comment was, it's a good job Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is running this movement, because no one else is doing it. We shouldn't be like that. Okay. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu received Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu received great pleasure in seeing this beautiful deity of Gopal. Gopal means, all the names of Krishna mean something. Gopala.
Good boy.
Go means cow and pal. Pal is the word to protect. To protect. So Gopal means the protector of the cows. For a long time he danced and chanted in ecstatic love. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would do that actually, whenever coming to a place where there was a deity, he would dance and chant in ecstatic love. And because we're going to see now how the Tattva-vadis received them. That's today's verse. At first sight, the Tattva-vadis, Vaishnavas, they're Vaishnavas. Vaishnava means?
Follow Vishnu.
Follower of Vishnu. We're not Vaishnavas, actually, technically speaking. We're not actually Vaishnavas. We're not even Karshanas.
Gaudiya Vaishnavas.
We're actually Gaudiyas. Because we follow Radharani. Why do we follow Radharani?
She's the topmost devotee.
She's the topmost devotee, and we want to be?
Her
We want to be the
maidservant.
best devotee we can be. So you better get Radharani's mercy, because she's the one who's giving it out. Yeah. And Krishna is dear to us because
He likes Radha.
he's dear to Radharani. That's why. One time Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati was circumambulating Radhakund with a group of his disciples. So there was a group of Malwaris that were they come from kind of northwest India. They're Krishna Bhaktas, So Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati stopped and he pointed to the Malwaris. They said they're also doing parikram like us. They're great Vaishnavas. But we and them, we're different. Why are we different? And no one can answer. Because, they're Krishna Bhaktas, we're Krishna Bhaktas. No one can figure it out. So Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati said that Krishna is very dear to them. They love Krishna, and because of that they accept Radharani. But as he said, it's the other way around. So Radharani is very dear to us, and we accept Krishna because he is very dear to her. So that's the difference. But you have to be careful who you tell this to. Externally, we're devotees of Krishna. But internally, when we're discussing among ourselves, we're actually devotees of Radharani. So at first sight, they thought he was?
My body.
How? How did they come to that conclusion?
One.
Actually, he didn't have it at this time.
Oh, is he not
You know what happened?
I did.
It was
They got broken by
Nityananda.
on the way to Jagannath Puri.
Jagannath.
He broke it and threw it to the Bhagavad River. His conclusion was This is Krishna, you don't need the danda. And anyway, what's this one danda? That's a lot of nonsense. Let's break it into 3 pieces, just to show what's going on here. And of course it was also a special arrangement. And Nityananda did that for a reason, another reason. Do you know? And you see, why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu take up residence in Jagannath Puri?
Mother Sachi wanted him close by. So
That's
she
one
could
reason, but
attend
it's
to
not the
him.
real reason. The reason that Sachimata said that was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's arrangement. What was the real reason? You see what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come to experience?
Love in separation.
Yes, love in separation. So who is Jagannath?
There's that mood.
Krishna.
It's Krishna in separation. And in some places, even Prabhupada says that Mahaprabhu is Radharani in separation. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to exhibit love of Radharani in its highest expression. So that is in separation. So therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't want anybody to be with him when he met Jagannath. So therefore this whole ruse was... And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told you, you nonsense, it's like I only had one possession. What was Mahaprabhu's possession? He said, I only had one possession and you lost it. Threw it in the river, what's wrong with you? He said, you know, you mislead me, you tell me it's Vrindavan and it's not. You take me away to Acharya's house and now you break my danda and lose it. I can't trust you people, so I'm going to Jagannath Puri on my own. You can come after or you can go before, whatever you like. So he just left, like that. So that's the reason. And when he met Jagannath, he wanted to embrace it, but what happened?
Went into ecstasy.
He wanted to embrace the deity, but what happened?
Didn't he faint?
Yeah, he fainted. He didn't make it to the dais. He fainted.
Yeah.
And who saw that?
Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya.
Yeah, right. That's a whole story. We've discussed that. Yeah. So Mahaprabhu now is busy defeating, or rather adjusting. In some cases defeat, like the Buddhists, he defeated them. But Venkatapatri kind of adjusted his understanding. Click, click, click. So the same here. But actually he defeated the Tattva Acharya. He had to. Because, you know, we can't have that. We want to establish the worship of Radha and Krishna. So who do the Venkatapatra and co worship?
Lakshmi.
Yeah, Lakshmi Narayan. Is it topmost? No. Narayan is an expansion
Of an expansion.
of an expansion of an expansion. So he's not topmost. Who's topmost?
Krishna.
Krishna. Radha Krishna.
Radha Krishna.
Actually. Radha Krishna. Just keep our philosophy in our mind. Okay, so at first sight the Tattvavadis considered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a Mayavadi sannyasi. Therefore they did not talk to him. It's a good example. If we find these Mayavadi sannyasis, if they're coming this way, you turn on your heel and you go that way. It's even mentioned that if you even see them, you should jump into the Ganga with all your clothes on. And we should not hear their philosophy. It's horrible actually, their philosophy. It also doesn't make sense. There's a conversation one time between His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami and Srila Prabhupada. They were discussing the Mayavad philosophy. And at one point, Tamal Krishna Maharaj turned to Srila Prabhupada and said, you know, this philosophy doesn't make any sense. And Prabhupada said, yes. It doesn't make any sense. No? People only accept it because Lord Shiva is pushing. Lord Shiva has developed that philosophy. But it doesn't make any sense. How is it that the Supreme can't have personality when we do? It doesn't make any sense, actually. You know, Tattvamasi, you are that. You know,
What is that?
Huh?
You are that. What is that?
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah.
It's inconceivable, by the way. You can't conceive of it. So how can you be something you can't conceive of? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, I've discussed a little bit about this. Now, I don't want to steal Gokalesh's thunder, because His Grace is talking about, but we can mention a few things. Do you know there are other names of Advaita Acharya? I don't know if Gokalesha probably know all these things, but let's see. Do you know there are other names? There's great personality of more than one name. One name of Advaita Acharya is Krishna Bola. Krishna Bola. Why did he get that name? Like we go, Hari Bol. Hari Bol means Hari Bol. You know, use it as well. Hari Bol! Hey Prabhu, Hari Bol! That's actually not what it's for. It's Hari Bol. What is Hari Bol? Chant the name of Krishna.
Yeah.
So Krishna Bola. And why do you think he got that name?
Because he called?
He's always chanting Krishna's name. That's why he got that name. He was also called Kamalaksha. Aksha means?
Eyes.
Kamala?
Lotus.
Yes, lotus. So why do you think he got called Kamalaksha?
He was crying for
Lotus,
Krishna.
beautiful lotus eyes. That's why. Like Arjuna Lambita Bhajo, it's the same thing. There are 32 symptoms of a Mahapurush. Don't ask me, I won't remember them all. But they're on the database, you can Google it. They're on the database. But lotus-like eyes are another one. So what is Advaita Acharya famous for? And there are many answers to this. I'm hoping we'll get a few. What is he famous for?
He called Lord Nityananda.
Huh?
He called Lord Nityananda.
Yes,
And Lord
you know Chaitanya
Chaitanya.
Mahaprabhu, in the Mahaprakash Leela, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Advaita Acharya, I was sleeping peacefully in the milk ocean and you woke me up. How did he wake him? This is the first line of the Advaita Acharya Astakam. Means call out very loudly. He's famous for that. There's a pastime, because he was born, he appeared in a place called, what is that place? Something Hatta. Damn it. Something Hatta. It'll probably come to me afterwards. It's East Bengal. So in East Bengal, or actually generally in Bengal, the worship of the Shakti is very prominent. You know, when we stayed in Mayapur, I don't know if they still do it, but when we stay in Mayapur, when it comes to Durga Puja, you know, because after Mangalati in Mayapur, I don't know if they still do that, but they used to announce whatever the festival day was and who was giving class. In the Bengali class or the English class, they would announce it directly after Mangalati. So they would even announce in Bengal after Mangalati is Durga Puja today. They would even announce Saraswati Puja, because the worship of the Shakti, I should say, is very prominent in West Bengal. Damn it, something happened. Not Namahata, but won't come to me, the place. Anyway, maybe it'll come to me afterwards. So the worship of the Shakti was very prominent there. Durga, the worship of Durga. So one time, you see, the prince, Advaita Acharya, Kamalaksha, Krishna Bala was very friendly with the prince of the local king, and he was a Shakta. So sometimes they would go to the temple of Devi. Who is Devi? Durga, yes, they would go to the temple. And the Advaita Acharya would refuse to pay obeisances. Why is that?
Not Radhe.
That's not Radhe.
Expansion,
Yeah, how can he do this? He's some demigod. How can he pay obeisances to a demigod? So he'd say, no, I don't want to pay that. I'm not going to do that. So the prince got upset with him. But what's wrong with you? Why won't you pay obeisances to Devi? And Advaita Acharya shouted at him, and he fainted. He fainted. And there was a big hue and cry, because it was the prince, of the king. Big hue and cry. So eventually his father came, who was...
Nava.
Huh?
What's it called? I'm looking here.
Somebody Mishra.
I'm looking.
I forget now the name of the father. Eventually the father was called. The king came when he saw his son is fainted, and the father was called, and he said, the father said, look, it's the king, we're living in his kingdom, it's Devi, you should pay obeisances. So Advaita Acharya said, I can pay obeisances, but I won't be responsible for the consequences. So he paid obeisances. You know what happened to the deity? It shattered.
Whoa.
The deity shattered. And then he told his father, can we leave this place? And you know where they went? They moved to the Shanti Ball. The place where Advaita, well, first to Navadvip, and then eventually the Shanti Ball. Okay, so who brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to this world? That was called Advaita Acharya. Why did he do that? He's actually, do you know who Advaita Acharya is? He's Mahavishnu. Does he need to? I mean, he's the protector of the material world. That's his function. Vishnu forms are protectors. You know, from the Vishnu forms, what comes? not Mahavishnu, but in each universe, the source of the incarnations of the Lord in each universe is Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. Yeah, because Kshira means, we must study your scripture a bit more. Kshira means we have Mahavishnu, Karana Dakashaya Vishnu. Karana means the cause, because he's the cause of the material manifestation. Then you have Garbha Dakashaya Vishnu. Daka, Ashai means to lie down in the water. Actually, Dashai means to lie down in the water. So Garbha Dakashai. Within each universe, what is there? There's the Garbha Daka ocean, the water coming from the transcendental body of Garbhodakashaya Vishnu lies down in the water of the Garbhodaka ocean. So then can you get a clue? Kshirodakashaya means one who lies down in the milk ocean, yeah. Because the Shweta planet, that is the planet of Dhruva Maharaj, there's an ocean of milk. And there's a white island, Shweta Dweep. Shweta means like, I always think it's so funny. We have our Shweta Manjari, Devi Dasi. What is her bodily complexion? I'm sure Maharaj did that for some transcendental reason. Her complexion is darkish, but Maharaj called her Sweta Manjari. Sweta means white. Yes, it's the Sweta Dweep, because it's a white island based on, and then in that island is an island in the milk ocean. So all the incarnations of Krishna coming from Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, all of them. So Mahaprabhu is a little different. Krishna is a little different. That's why when the demigods went to the Shweta to call upon Vishnu for help, Krishna kind of knew it's not the time for an incarnation in the usual way. It's actually the time for Krishna. So you know where he sent them? He sent them out to the universe on a boat. And they left the universe. And when they left the universe, they saw these universes bobbing around in the causal ocean, and they got frightened. There's a whole description in the Garga Samhita where they went. Eventually they came to Goloka Vrindavan, and there was one guardian of the gate, Sahasramukha Chandramukhi or something like that. It means one whose face is as beautiful as 1,000 moons. So she said, why have you come here? He said, no, we want to see Krishna. So he said, well, who are you? She said, I'm Brahma. So off she went, and she came back and she said, well, which Brahma are you? And Brahma said, what do you mean, which Brahma? I'm Brahma, I'm the chief living entity of the universe. And Kshirodakashaya Vishnu had to say, it's that one where the Krishna appeared as Krishna Gama, like that. And so that they went to Krishna eventually, and all the incarnations started coming. And they merged with the body of Krishna to show the demigods that Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah, no, I don't know why I got into this. Yeah, because Advaita Acharya called from the milk ocean, seemingly. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Krishna wasn't really from the milk ocean. But that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told them. So, actually this story goes a little further actually, because it's written, I think it's in the Gautamiya Tantra. The Gautamiya Tantra is a collection of you could say like very important verses, and there's a verse in there which says that if Krishna is worshipped with Tulsi Manjari and Ganga Jal, he cannot refuse the request of that devotee. So that's also in the Advaita Ashtaka, that verse is there, that he worshipped his Shalagram with Tulsi Manjari and Ganga daily, and he called out to Krishna. And because of that, it's actually written in the Gautamiya Tantra, the one who worships Krishna with Tulsi Manjari and Ganga, then that devotee's request will be fulfilled. So he knew that. So he's calling out like that. He's Mahavishnu, how come he couldn't do it himself? That's Krishna actually, hello. Why couldn't he do it himself? He felt that it's so degraded. You know, in Navadvipa at that time they were teaching Bhagavad Gita and also Srimad Bhagavatam. They were teaching it. It's written in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. But what was missing? They were teaching Bhagavad Gita. Devotion was missing. There was no devotion. So, and the smarta Brahmanism was very prominent. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, SriAdvaita Acharya's heart broke seeing that actually. And he felt this is so bad that only Krishna himself can sort this mess out. So he called out, I don't remember the second line. That's Kali Yuga memory, what can you do? But if I was giving the class today, we'd sing that song. Very beautiful song, written by SriAdvaita Acary. Okay, so I wonder if any of you would like to share something about. Actually, it's written that if you want the mercy of the Lord Nityananda, you know what you've got to do?
With the mercy of
You've got to get the mercy of
SriAdvaita.
Advaita Acharya. Because without Nityananda's mercy, we can't get.
Lord Chaitanya.
We can't get Radha Krishna's. We can't enter into. It's actually written like that in Mana Shiksha. If you want to enter into the dancing party of Radha and Krishna, you must take shelter of the lotus feet of Nityananda. And if you want to take shelter of the lotus feet of Nityananda, what do you need? In the mercy of Advaita Acharya. So today is the appearance day of Advaita Acharya. We should pray to him very fervently. My dear Advaita Acharya, please give us the mercy of Nityananda's lotus feet. It's actually written that there is no limit to Krishna's mercy. But if there is a limit, then that's not Nityananda. And to get access to him, we need the mercy of Advaita Acharya. Without, actually, Advaita Acharya called him, and also in Krishna, when one time Advaita Acharya sent a special poem written on a palm leaf. He wrote it, he was in Shantipur. He wrote the poem, Jagannathpur, I'm not exactly sure where he was, but he wrote this poem and he gave it to one of Mahaprabhu's intimate followers, and he told him, give Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the essence of this poem is that I'm a madman, you're a madman and I'm a madman, and anyway we're not selling rice in the marketplace. No one's buying rice, in the marketplace. And no one can understand that poem. You know, what the hell? This is Advaita Acharya's way of sending Chaitanya Mahaprabhu back. Just like Brahma called Krishna, and Brahma sent him back. You know? So also Advaita Acharya did that. He wrote this poem. This poem is being written by, you're a madman, and also a madman is writing this poem. And everybody's become a madman. No one's buying rice in the marketplace. So it's like, what do you think it means? So it means like you've turned everybody into pure devotees of Krishna and no one's buying that now. So you've done your job, so you can go back. There were some very, very intimate exchanges. You see, some of Mahaprabhu's associates appeared before he did. So they would be older. Some appeared at the time he appeared. They are contemporaries. And some appeared in the next generation. Like Narottam Das Thakur, he appeared in the next generation. Srinivasa Acharya, Shyamananda Pandit, they appeared in the next generation. So some of them appeared before. So Advaita Acharya, Advaita Acharya was about 50 years old when Mahaprabhu appeared. And you should see how he used to dance in the Rath Yatra. He was 74 at that time. And he was dancing in the Rath Yatra. Something amazing. That's why we show him with.
Yes.
Actually, one time when Janardana was giving class in Mayapur, he said, this picture of Advaita Acharya is not right. It's actually not right. Because these great souls, they don't appear old. He said, they don't have a white beard. They do that just to give us the idea that he's senior. But he didn't like that. If you read Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat, you'll see that he always felt, I just want to be a servant. Because that's how devotees feel. Okay, he's Mahavishnu. But he wants to be a servant to Krishna, so he didn't like it. Mahaprabhu would give him such respect. Because Mahaprabhu is showing the etiquette. I didn't give him such respect. So Advaita Acharya hated that actually. I just want to be your servant. So you know what he did? So that Mahaprabhu would treat him like a servant. Yeah, in Chandipur he started to preach that Gyan is superior to Bhakti. Gyan. So when somebody ran and told Mahaprabhu, and he ran from Navadvip, when he came and dragged him off the Vyasa and he started to beat him like that. What are you preaching? What do you mean that Gyan is superior to Bhakti? And Sita Devi was saying, don't, he's an old man, you'll kill him, don't beat him up. And he was in ecstasy. Finally you recognize my position. So if Mahavishnu, because actually there's another person involved there. It's not just Mahavishnu.
Sadashiva.
It's Sadashiva. So there is two forms of Shiva. The Rudras, that's the material world side. And Krishna says of the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Yeah. So that's the material world side. But on the spiritual world side, it's Sadashiva. You know, Krishna glances at the material nature. Do you know that glance as a person? Because everything about Krishna is personal. Everything about the spiritual. You know that glance is? That's Sadashiva. So one time Sadashiva was performing great austerities. I forget where now. It's mentioned in one of the biographies of Advaita Acary. He's performing great austerities. And Mahavishnu came and he saw that. And he said, Sadashiva, Prabhu, why are you performing great austerities like this? So Sadashiva told him that this is the age of Kali. And the spirit souls in that age, it's a terrible age, it's so difficult to perform spiritual life. So I thought, I was meditating on what we could do to help them. So hearing that, Mahavishnu embraced Sadashiva. See, even embraced as a person. When they embraced, you know what came out? That was Advaita Acary. Yeah, so confirmed. Yeah, because actually, they double confirmed. Jabadaka Swami started that in Mayapur. Because if you're listening to class in Mayapur, there are definitely a few geckos. They make that very distinctive sound. So it's written somewhere that if you're speaking philosophy and a gecko sounds, then that is a very important point. So we have our geckos.
We need to get some geckos.
We have our electronic geckos. Yeah, so Sadashiva and Mahavishnu, a combined form. So Advaita Acary is very merciful. So on a day like today, we should pray to him for his mercy. That we can become a halfway decent devotee, and we can get the mercy of, or we can get the shelter of Lord Nityananda. That's next week. We'll talk about the shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Okay, this is my tuppence 3 farthings. Is there anything you'd like to share about Advaita Acary? We can ask His Grace, Petita Pala and Prabhu, if you'd like to share something about it. We did the class and we mentioned a few things. Is there anything you'd like to mention? I kind of came with the main points.
I remember something briefly, like I think it was Nityananda and Advaita Acary were throwing rice at each other and then they went into ecstasy.
Yeah, that was the house of Advaita Acary. Because when before they came to the house of Advaita, that was just after Mahaprabhu took sannyas. So for 3 days, because Mahaprabhu is perfect already, so when he took sannyas, where do you think he wanted to go?
Vrindavan.
Yeah, he wanted to go to Vrindavan, which is natural, that's our place, So have a guess who tricked him?
Lord Nityananda.
That was Lord Nityananda. He tricked him. Because the thing is that when Mahaprabhu left Navadvip to go to Kandwa to receive sannyas, only 5 people knew. So he just went. He told 5 people. He just took a few people with him and he went. So the devotees didn't know where he'd gone. And what do you think they felt like? They felt like their lives had come to an end. Like that, no? So in Vedic culture at that time, at least, when you took sannyas, what would happen?
He cut all ties.
You would just disappear. You would just go travelling. No one would know where you are. That's what happened to Vishwarupa. He just disappeared. No one knew where he was. You couldn't call him up or email him or take an Uber or something like that. He just disappeared. So, because Mahaprabhu took sannyas just like that, and the devotees in Navadvip, they didn't know if they'd see him again. So Nityananda Prabhu's idea was, we'll get them all together and they can see Mahaprabhu one last time. That was the idea. So he invented this whole ras. Not because he wanted to give Mahaprabhu a hard time, but because he felt for the devotees in Navadvip. Yeah. I wonder what we were discussing.
The rice.
Yeah. So, Nityananda Prabhu, actually never acted in a way which was contrary to Mahaprabhu's wishes. Because Mahaprabhu actually told in that assembly in Shantipur, I can't give you up. You're my devotees and I can't give you up. And he knew they couldn't give him up. So he presented this conundrum to who? Because if you take sannyas, what have you got to do? You've got to leave, you've got to travel. You stay at home, what will happen? And I said, what kind of sannyas are you staying at home? Blah, 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 blah. So, Sachimata felt that the pain, she wanted him to stay home, but she felt that the pain of hearing him criticized for staying at home would be greater than the pain of him leaving. So she thought about that. She thought, yeah, okay, you take up residence in Jagannath Puri. Because, she didn't say because that's Krishna in separation. That was the real reason. But she said because these two places, Navadvip and Jagannath Puri, like two rooms in the same house. The devotees go from Jagannath Puri to Navadvip to bathe in the Ganga, and the devotees from Navadvip come to Jagannath Puri to take darshan. So she figured in this way I'm going to get news of you. So she solved that conundrum. So Mahaprabhu said, sure, you've given me this order, I'll do it. But the whole thing is Krishna's arrangement. So you can go to Jagannath Puri. Just in the last few years, what did he do?
He stayed in
Confirmed.
Jagannath.
In the last few years, he just experienced the love of Srimati Radha in separation. They locked him up at night, actually.
Yeah.
And he would claw on the walls until his fingers bled, actually. One night he got out,
Was drowning.
and he saw the darkness of the sea, and what did he think it was? Because the moon was very dark. He thought it was the moon. He jumped into the sea, and then his body separated. And one fisherman caught him. You know, the fisherman touched his body. You know what happened after that? Haribo! 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 Became a madman. Yeah. Yes.
Prabhu, if I can see external and internal reasons for which Chaitanya is descending, he also came because of Mayavada's prominence.
Yeah, you can look at it that way as well.
Like, thank him that Advaita Acary prayed for him to
Yeah.
come.
Because otherwise, even after he came, it's still prominent, you know. Well, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left us some work. Like Prabhupada left. You know the work that Prabhupada left us?
To distribute the Shastra.
Yeah, and then also to reintroduce Vana Shraddha, so the general people can make spiritual progress. Yeah, that's the work. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left us a bit of work to defeat these two. You know, Prabhupada's pranam mantra. Nivishesha Shunyamana Paschacha. Deshatarani, preaching Deshatarani in the Western countries. So what have we got to do? We've got to defeat these two philosophies. Impersonalism and Voidism, Buddhism. You know, we have to, because they're prominent everywhere you look. Okay, should we stop them? We should stop. It's breakfast time. Now if you want more, you have to come to Sunday afternoon class. Well, I'm sure His Grace Gokulash Guru will dazzle us with wonderful stories about Advaita Acary. He's a very special personality, very special. Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Transcendental Appearance Day on Advaita Acary ki jai, Adibhakti Maha Mahotsav Advaita Acary ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nada Divine Loving Lordship Shri Shri Nitai Maya Pachana ki jai, Salve Veda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Dai Gaura Prabhupada.